The call came on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. I was in a board meeting, pitching to investors. My phone buzzed on silent, Mom, and I ignored it. She called again at 2:47, then Dad at 3:15, then Ethan at 3:22. By the time the meeting ended at 4, I had 7 missed calls and 3 voicemails. I listened to the first one. Adrian, honey, it's Mom. We need to talk to you about something important. Call me back as soon as you can. It's urgent. Her voice had that tone, the one that meant she needed something. I called back from my office, 28th floor, view of the city, my company's name on the door. Adrian, oh, thank God. I've been trying to reach you all day. I was in meetings. What's wrong? It's complicated. Can you talk? Like really talk? I glanced at my calendar, had another call in 30 minutes. I have a little time. Okay, so, your father and I have been discussing our finances and things are tight. Really tight. I waited. And with Ethan's situation, the divorce, losing his job, we've been helping him out, covering his rent, his lawyer fees. It's been expensive. Okay. And my medical bills from last year, the knee surgery. Insurance didn't cover everything. We've been dipping into savings. Mom, what are you asking? She took a breath. We need help, financial help. We were hoping, since you're doing so well. I leaned back in my chair, stared at the MIT diploma on my wall, the one from 10 years ago. How much? $50,000 would really help us get stable. $50,000. I know it's a lot. But Adrian, you're doing so well. We saw the Forbes article and the company acquisition news. We're so proud of you. The Forbes article from 6 months ago that she'd never mentioned until now. Before we talk about money, I said carefully, I have a question. Okay. Do you remember my graduation? Silence. From MIT, May 18th, 2019. More silence. Of course we remember, she said finally. Voice uncertain. Where were you that day? Adrian, that was 10 years ago. Where were you, Mom? I heard her breath catch. We were at Ethan's engagement party, which you scheduled on my graduation day. Honey, we didn't think. No, you didn't think. That's exactly right. Adrian, let me tell you about that graduation, since you weren't there. And just like that, I was back there. 18 years old, holding an acceptance letter, about to learn what I actually meant to my family. The letter came in March of senior year. Thick envelope, MIT logo. I knew before I opened it. I'd gotten in. Full ride. Full scholarship. One of 3% accepted that year. I held it with shaking hands. Read it 3 times to make sure it was real. Then I went downstairs where my family was having dinner. Mom was serving pot roast. Dad was scrolling his phone. Ethan, my older brother, 20 at the time, was talking about his sales job. I hit quota again this month, 3rd month in a row. Boss says I'm on track for a promotion. That's wonderful, sweetie, Mom beamed. I stood in the doorway, letter in hand, heart pounding. Hey, I got some news today. Dad looked up. I got my MIT acceptance letter. Mom paused mid-serve. Oh? Yeah, I got in. Full scholarship. Oh, that's nice, honey. She put a piece of meat on Dad's plate. Pass the potatoes? I stared at her. That's it? That's nice? Dad looked confused. What else do you want us to say? It's MIT. It's one of the best schools in the world. 3% acceptance rate. Full ride means they're paying for everything. We heard you, Dad said. Congratulations. Now can we eat? Food's getting cold. I looked at Ethan. He was checking his phone. Hadn't even looked up. Ethan. Oh yeah, cool. Good for you, nerd. He grinned. Anyway, as I was saying about the promotion, and just like that we moved on. I sat down. Ate pot roast. Listened to Ethan talk about sales numbers for 20 minutes. Nobody asked me about MIT, about my major, about how I felt, about anything. The acceptance letter sat next to my plate. Ignored. Like me. 5 minutes before dessert, Ethan stood up, cleared his throat. Actually, I have some news too. Everyone looked up, attentive, interested. Jessica and I got engaged. The explosion was immediate. Mom screamed, actually screamed, dropped the serving spoon, ran around the table to hug Ethan. Dad stood up, shook Ethan's hand, pulled him into a hug. Congratulations, son. That's incredible. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, Mom was crying. When? How? Show me the ring. Is Jessica here? Call her. We need to celebrate. Ethan pulled out his phone, started showing pictures of the proposal, beach sunset, rose petals, the whole production. Mom and Dad crowded around, laughing, crying, asking a million questions. I sat there, MIT letter still next to my plate, completely forgotten. For the next 30 minutes, it was all engagement. What kind of wedding? When? Where? Budget? Guest list? I cleared my plate, washed it, went upstairs. Nobody noticed. In my room, I pinned the MIT acceptance letter to my bulletin board. Looked at it for a long time. First member of my family to get into an Ivy-adjacent school. Full scholarship. Huge achievement. And they'd celebrated for exactly 0 seconds before moving on to Ethan's engagement. I should have known then, should have seen it. But I thought maybe it was just bad timing. Maybe they'd process it later. Maybe tomorrow they'd wake up excited. They didn't. The next few weeks were engagement madness. Every dinner was wedding planning. Every conversation was vendors and venues and invitation designs. I tried once, just once, to talk about MIT. I'm thinking about majoring in computer science. They have this amazing AI lab. That's nice, honey. Ethan, did you and Jessica decide on spring or fall wedding? I stopped trying after that. Mid-April, I mentioned. My graduation is May 18th. MIT's sending details about the ceremony. Oh, that's nice. Your father and I will check our schedules. They didn't check their schedules. A week later, Mom made an announcement at dinner. Great news. We've booked the venue for Ethan's engagement party. That's awesome, Ethan said. When? May 18th. It was the only Saturday they had available in May. The Riverside Hall. Isn't that perfect? I put down my fork. That's my graduation day. Mom blinked. What? May 18th. That's when I graduate from MIT, I told you. Oh, she waved her hand. Well, graduation is just a ceremony. You don't really need to go, do you? Yes, I need to go. It's my college graduation. Dad jumped in. Adrian, be reasonable. Ethan's engagement party is important. It's a once-in-a-lifetime celebration. So is graduating from MIT. It's just walking across a stage, Mom said. You can skip that. Family's more important. Then why can't Ethan move his party? Ethan looked offended. Dude, the venue's booked. Deposits are paid. We've already sent save the dates. You sent save the dates before checking if I could come? Why would we check? You live here. Of course you can come. I'll be at my graduation, in Boston, at MIT. Mom sighed. Like I was being difficult. Adrian, honey, don't be selfish. Your brother's getting married. This is huge for him. And I'm graduating from one of the best schools in the world. That's huge for me. But you can graduate anytime. No, Mom, I can't. Graduation is May 18th. That's it. One day, one ceremony. Dad's voice got firm. The discussion over voice. We've made our decision. The party is May 18th. You're being unreasonable. I'm being unreasonable? You scheduled a party on my graduation day without asking me. We didn't think it would be a problem. Because you didn't think about me at all. Silence. The bad kind. Ethan broke it. Come on, Adrian. Don't be dramatic. It's just a graduation. I'm only getting engaged once. He grinned. Hopefully. That aged poorly. I looked around the table, at my family, at the people who were supposed to support me, celebrate me, choose me, at least once. When's my graduation? I asked quietly. Dad frowned. What? When is my graduation? What date? He looked uncomfortable. May something? May 18th, same as the party you just scheduled. Well, we didn't know the exact date. Because you didn't ask. Because you didn't care. Mom reached for my hand. I pulled it back. Adrian, that's not fair. What's my major? What? What am I majoring in at MIT? Silence. Computer science. I've told you 3 times. You've never remembered. We have a lot going on? You have a lot going on with Ethan. You have nothing going on with me. I stood up, left the table, went to my room, heard them talking downstairs. Muffled voices. Mom. He's being so dramatic. Dad. He'll get over it. Ethan. He's just jealous. I packed my bag for school the next day, looked at my MIT acceptance letter on the wall, and made a decision. I was going to that graduation, alone if I had to. And after that, I was going to build a life so successful, so undeniable, that they'd regret this moment. Not for revenge. For proof. Proof that I didn't need them. That I never had. Proof that their indifference was their loss, not mine. I didn't know then that 10 years later, they'd call asking for $50,000. But I knew this. I was done trying to earn their attention. If they wanted a relationship with me, they'd have to earn mine. And scheduling a party on my MIT graduation day? That was a pretty bad start. The next 4 years I barely went home. Thanksgiving freshman year, Christmas. That was it. Spring break, summer. I stayed in Boston, got internships, worked, studied. My parents visited MIT once. Once in 4 years. Sophomore year, October. They were in the area for Ethan's college friend's wedding. Stopped by campus for 2 hours. Mom. It's so technical looking. Dad. Where do you eat? Me. Dining halls? Want to see my lab? Dad. We don't really have time. We need to get to the hotel before the rehearsal dinner. They took one photo with me, outside the main building, posted it on Facebook. Caption. Visiting our brilliant son at MIT. So proud. The only time they mentioned my school on social media in 4 years. They left after 90 minutes. I walked back to my dorm alone, looked at the photo she'd posted. 43 likes, 12 comments, all about how proud they must be, how amazing it was. What a wonderful family. I deleted Facebook that night. Phone calls home became monthly, then every 2 months, then only on holidays. The conversations were always the same. How's school? Good, busy. That's nice. Did we tell you Ethan and Jessica set a wedding date? Always about Ethan, his sales job, his apartment, his wedding planning, his life. Never about my research project, my internship at Google, my 3.9 GPA. I stopped volunteering information. They stopped asking. By senior year, we were strangers who shared DNA. Graduation approached. May 18th, 2019. I'd known the date for months. In March, I sent them the official invitation. Physical mail. Printed on nice paper. You are invited to the MIT commencement ceremony. I included a note. Graduation is May 18th. Ceremony starts at 10 a.m. Would love to see you there. Mom called 2 weeks later. Got your invitation. That's so official looking. Yeah, so you're coming? Well, that's actually why I'm calling. May 18th is Ethan's engagement party. I know, you scheduled it on my graduation day. Right, so we can't make it to Boston, but we'll celebrate with you when you're home. Mom, I'm graduating from MIT, summa cum laude. It's kind of a big deal. I know, honey, and we're so proud. But Ethan's party is already planned. The venue, the caterer, everyone's invited. You could have planned it for literally any other day. The venue was only available May 18th. We told you this. You told me. You didn't ask me. Adrian, don't be difficult. You understand, right? Family has to support each other. Then support me. Come to my graduation. We can't disappoint all the guests for Ethan's party, but you can disappoint me. Silence. It's just a ceremony, she said finally. You're still graduating either way. The party is more important. To you. The party is more important to you. Adrian. It's fine, Mom. Don't worry about it. You understand? Yeah, I understand perfectly. I hung up, stared at my dorm room wall, at the posters, the textbooks, the life I'd built alone, and I understood exactly what they'd been telling me for 4 years. Ethan mattered. I didn't. At least not enough. Graduation day arrived. I woke up at 7 a.m. in my dorm. Last time I'd sleep there. Put on my cap and gown. Looked in the mirror. Summa cum laude. Computer science. Job offer from a Silicon Valley startup already accepted. I'd done everything right. And I was completely alone. My roommate Jake knocked. Ready, man? Yeah. Your family here yet? They're not coming. He looked shocked. What? Why not? Long story. Dude, I'm sorry. It's fine. Let's go. We walked to the ceremony together. Campus was packed. Families everywhere. Taking photos, crying, hugging. Proud parents with cameras. Grandparents with flowers. Siblings with balloons. I had my phone. That was it. Found my seat. Section for computer science graduates. Sat down. Jake's family was 5 rows behind me. Huge group. His mom kept waving at him. Crying already. My phone was silent. The ceremony started. Long, formal. Speeches about changing the world and reaching potential. I only half listened. Kept looking at my phone. Nothing. They called names alphabetically. When they got to the C's, I stood. Adrian Chen, Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, summa cum laude. I walked across the stage, shook the dean's hand, took my diploma. There was applause. The polite kind you give everyone. No screaming. No, that's my son. No whistles or cheers. Just standard clapping from strangers. I walked back to my seat, sat down, held the diploma. 4 years of work. Thousands of hours studying. Countless all-nighters. All for this moment. And the people who were supposed to be here were at a party. For an engagement that would end in divorce 6 years later. But I didn't know that yet. I just knew I was alone. After the ceremony, families swarmed the graduates. Hugs, photos, tears. I stood off to the side. Took a selfie with my diploma. Sent it to the family group chat. Graduated, thanks for asking. No response. I walked back to my dorm, changed out of my gown, started packing. Jake found me an hour later. Dude, we're all going to dinner. You should come. I'm good. Adrian, come on. You shouldn't be alone today. I've been alone this whole time. One more day doesn't matter. He looked sad. Your family sucks, man. Yeah, they do. That evening, my phone finally buzzed. Family group chat exploded with photos. The engagement party, Riverside Hall, decorated ceiling to floor, DJ, open bar, hundreds of guests, mom and dad in every photo, huge smiles, Ethan and Jessica looking happy, cake, dancing, toasts. Mom posted to Facebook, best day ever, so proud of our son. Engagement party, our family, first, blessed. No mention of me, no mention of MIT, nothing. I scrolled through 20 photos before I stopped. Sat on my dorm bed. Empty room around me. Everything packed. 4 years at one of the best schools in the world. And my family was celebrating a party. At 10 p.m., Mom finally called. Adrian, hi, how was graduation? Fine. Did you walk? Yes. That's wonderful. We're so proud. The party was beautiful. Wish you could have been here. I almost laughed. I was at my MIT graduation. Oh, right. Well, you didn't miss much. Just food and dancing. You know how these things are. No, Mom, I don't know. Because I missed it. For my graduation. Oh, honey, don't be like that. We'll celebrate with you when you come home. I'm not coming home. What do you mean? I mean, I got a job in California. I'm moving in 2 weeks. I'm not coming back. Silence. California? That's so far. Yeah. But Ethan's wedding is in October. I'll try to make it. Try? Adrian, it's your brother's wedding. And today was my MIT graduation. But you weren't here. So I guess we're even. That's not the same. It's exactly the same. You chose a party over my graduation. I'm choosing my life over his wedding. You're being very hurtful right now. Good. Now you know how I felt today. I hung up, turned off my phone, laid on my dorm bed and stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow, I'd start driving to California. To my new job, my new life. Away from people who'd proven, repeatedly, that I was second priority. I didn't cry, didn't scream, didn't break anything. Just laid there, in the silence. And decided something. I was done trying to earn their attention. From now on, they'd have to earn mine. I did go to Ethan's wedding in October. Flew back from California. Paid my own ticket, $600 round trip. Arrived the day before, stayed at a hotel, didn't stay with my parents. The wedding was huge, 200 guests, country club venue, live band. I sat in the back, wore the suit I'd bought for job interviews, watched Ethan and Jessica say their vows, smiled politely, clapped. At the reception, Mom found me. Adrian, you made it. Where's your gift? I sent them $500. Her face showed disappointment. Only 500? Your cousin gave them 2,000. Your cousin makes $300K a year. I'm 22 and just started working. Well, you went to MIT. We thought you'd be making more by now. I stared at her. I make $120K, which is great for right out of college. Oh, she seemed surprised. That's good, I suppose. Yeah, it is. Well, anyway, enjoy the party. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah, Mom, it's beautiful. I left after dinner, before the dancing. Told them I had an early flight. I didn't. I just didn't want to be there anymore. Back in California, I threw myself into work. 80-hour weeks, weekends, holidays. My roommate thought I was crazy. Dude, you're going to burn out. I'm fine. When's the last time you took a day off? I didn't answer. Because work was the only place I felt valued. The only place where effort mattered. Where achievement was recognized. Where I wasn't competing with Ethan for scraps of attention. 6 months into the job, I got promoted. Senior engineer. Didn't tell my family, just kept working. A year in, the company raised Series B funding. My stock options suddenly worth something. Didn't tell my family that either. I called home every few months, surface-level calls. How's work? Good. That's nice. Did we tell you Jessica's pregnant? Always about Ethan, his life, his news, his achievements. Never about mine. I stopped calling. Let them call me. They didn't. Not really. Just occasional texts. Thinking of you. Hope work is good. No actual questions. No real interest. Just the appearance of caring. And I stopped pretending it was enough. At 24, I was promoted to engineering manager, leading a team of 12. At 25, our startup got acquired by a major tech company. My stock options, $2 million payout. I paid off my student loans. Wait, no. I never had student loans. Full ride, remember? I paid cash for a condo in San Francisco, invested the rest. Still didn't tell my family the numbers. Just, work's going well. They didn't ask for details. I didn't offer them. We were family in name only, connected by obligation, not by choice, and I was okay with that. Better than okay, because I'd learned something at 18, standing on an MIT stage alone. I didn't need them to succeed. I didn't need them to be happy. I didn't need them at all. And that was the most freeing thing I'd ever learned. At 27, I started my own company with some of the acquisition money. AI-powered enterprise software. Boring name. Massive market. Hired my old teammates. Built something from scratch. 70-hour weeks. All in. Focused. By year 2, we hit $50 million valuation. By year 3, we were closing deals with Fortune 500 companies. At 28, Forbes named me to their 30 under 30 list. That's when my parents finally noticed. Not because I told them, because someone they knew saw the article and sent it to them. Mom called, excited. Adrian, we saw the Forbes article. Why didn't you tell us? You never asked how work was going. Of course we ask. We always ask. You say, how's work? And I say good, and you move on to Ethan. That's not asking. Well, we didn't know you were doing something so impressive. Yeah, that's the problem. That was 6 months ago. And now, here she was, calling, asking for $50,000. Because Ethan lost his job, because their savings were gone, because they needed me. Finally, after 10 years, they needed me. And I was about to tell them exactly what I thought about that. Year 3 of my company was when everything exploded. We landed Microsoft as a client, then Google, then Amazon. 3 of the biggest tech companies in the world using our software. Revenue hit 100 meters. Company valuation, 200 meters. I owned 40%. Do the math. I was worth 80 million on paper, 28 years old, self-made, starting from nothing but a full-ride scholarship and a family that didn't show up. TechCrunch wrote a feature, The AI Whisperer, How Adrian Chen Built a 200-meter Company Before 30. Forbes updated my profile, added me to their Most Innovative Entrepreneurs list. Business Insider did a video interview. My parents didn't see any of it. Not because it wasn't public, because they weren't looking. They didn't follow me on LinkedIn, didn't Google my name, didn't ask, just assumed I was still doing the tech thing in California. Meanwhile, Ethan's life was falling apart. I didn't know the details in real time, just pieced it together from occasional family calls. Age 29. Ethan's between jobs right now. Sales has been tough. Age 30. Ethan and Jessica are having some problems. Marriage counseling. Age 31. Ethan's going through a divorce. It's been very hard on him. Each call, Mom would update me on Ethan's struggles, then ask, "How's work?" "Good." "That's nice. Anyway, we're worried about Ethan." Never details about my life. Never questions. Just surface acknowledgement before returning to Ethan. I'd long stopped caring. The Forbes article that changed everything dropped in March. 30 under 30. Adrian Chen, 28, CEO of NeuralSync AI. Full profile. Photos of me in the office, quotes about building the company, revenue numbers, valuation, everything. I didn't tell my parents about it. Why would I? They found out from my uncle, Dad's brother, Uncle Richard. Saw it online. Sent it to my dad with, "Did you know about this?" Dad called me, confused. "Adrian, your uncle sent us some article about you?" "Yeah, Forbes did a piece." "Why didn't you tell us?" "You never asked what I was doing." "We ask all the time." "No, Dad. You say, 'How's work?' and I say, 'Fine.' And you immediately start talking about Ethan. That's not asking." Silence. "It says here, your company is worth $200 million. "Yeah, about that." "And you own 40%? "Yes." More silence. I could hear him doing the math. "Adrian, that means you're worth 80 million. On paper, yes. $80 million. On paper, it's not liquid. Tied up in equity. But when did this happen?" "Over the last 3 years, while you were helping Ethan with his divorce lawyer fees." "We didn't know you were doing something this big?" "Because you never asked, Dad. In 10 years, you've never once asked me what I actually do, what my company does, what I've built." "That's not fair." "It's completely fair. When's the last time you visited me in California?" Silence. "Never." The answer is never. I've lived there for 10 years. You've never visited once. We've been busy. With Ethan. You've been busy with Ethan. I get it. I've always gotten it. Mom got on the phone. "Adrian, honey, we're so proud of you. This is incredible." "Now you're proud. Now that Forbes wrote about it. Now that Uncle Richard sent you the article. We've always been proud. Then you should have come to my graduation." Click. I heard it. The sound of her understanding exactly what I meant. "Honey, that was 10 years ago. And you still haven't apologized. You still haven't acknowledged that you chose wrong." "We didn't choose wrong. You chose a party over my MIT graduation. You can't rewrite that." Dad jumped back in. "Son, we made a mistake. But we're family. Can't we move past this?" "You want to move past it? Fine. Stop calling me only when you need something." "We don't only call when we need something. Dad, you're literally calling because Uncle Richard sent you an article. You didn't call on my birthday last year. You didn't call when my company hit $50 million in revenue. You didn't call when TechCrunch wrote about us. We didn't know about those things. Because you didn't ask." I took a breath, calmed down. I have to go. I have a meeting. Adrian, wait. I hung up, sat in my office, looked at the city view, $80 million on paper, and I still couldn't buy the one thing I'd wanted at 18, a family that saw me. 6 months passed. They called a few more times. Awkward calls, trying to be more interested. What's your company called again? Neural Sync AI. And what does it do? Enterprise AI solutions for data processing. Oh, that sounds complicated. It is. Well, we're very proud. Sure they were. Ethan called once, asked if I could put in a word for him at one of my client companies. I'm unemployed, man. Sales jobs are hard to find. You've got connections. I'll see what I can do. I didn't see what I could do. Didn't make any calls, because Ethan hadn't called me in 3 years before this, and now he wanted a favor. Same pattern as my parents. Only showing up when they needed something. In October, I got a text from Mom. Mom. Ethan moved back home. He's having a hard time. If you could talk to him, that would mean a lot. I didn't respond. A week later. Mom. Did you see my text? Me. I did. Mom. Will you call Ethan? Me. No. Mom. Why not? He's your brother. Me. He's your favorite son. You handle it. Mom. That's not true. We love you both equally. I didn't respond to that either, because if they loved us equally, they'd have been at my graduation. In November, Dad had a health scare, minor heart attack. He was fine after a few days in the hospital. Mom called, crying. Your father's in the hospital. Can you come home? Is he okay? The doctors say he'll be fine. But Adrian, we need you. I'll send flowers. Flowers? That's it? What do you want me to do, Mom? Come home, be here for your family. Like you were there for my graduation? Silence. I'll send flowers, I repeated. And I'll call tomorrow to check on him. I sent a very expensive arrangement. Called the next day. Talked to Dad for 10 minutes. He sounded weak, tired. Thanks for calling, son. Of course. How are you feeling? Better. Doctors say it was mild. Good. I'm glad you're okay. I wish you could have come home. I have a board meeting I can't miss. I didn't have a board meeting. I just didn't want to go home. I understand. Work is important. Yeah, it is. Awkward silence. Adrian, I know we haven't been perfect parents. Dad, you just had a heart attack. Let's not do this now. I just want you to know I'm proud of you. What you've built. I should have said it sooner. Okay? Do you believe me? I thought about it. I don't know, Dad. I don't know what to believe anymore. He was quiet. That's fair. I have to go. Feel better. Adrian. Yeah? Thank you for calling. You're welcome. I hung up. Felt nothing. Not anger. Not sadness. Not relief. Just emptiness. The space where a family relationship should have been. December came. Holiday season. I didn't go home for Thanksgiving. Or Christmas. First time in my life. Mom called. You're really not coming home? I'm really not. But it's Christmas. I know what day it is. Adrian, please. Your father's still recovering. Ethan's going through so much. We need family together. You needed me at graduation. I needed you there. You chose differently. So am I. How long are you going to punish us for that? I'm not punishing you. I'm just living my life, without you in it. That's cruel. No, Mom. Cruel is scheduling a party on your son's MIT graduation and not understanding why he's upset about it 10 years later. I spent Christmas with friends, people from my company. We rented a house in Tahoe, skied, drank, laughed. It was the best Christmas I'd had in years. My phone buzzed with family texts, photos of their Christmas. Ethan looking depressed, parents looking older. I didn't respond. Just enjoyed the snow, the friends, the life I'd built without them. January brought the call, the one where Mom asked for $50,000. We need help, financial help. And that's when I asked the question. Before we talk about money, I have a question. Okay. Do you remember my graduation? And now, sitting in my office, 28th floor, company I'd built from nothing, I was about to tell them exactly what I thought about their request. Let me tell you about that graduation, I said, since you weren't there. And I told them everything. About sitting alone in the crowd, about walking across the stage to polite applause from strangers, about the selfie I took because there was nobody else to take a photo, about the party they chose instead, the photos they posted, the best day ever caption that didn't include me, about 10 years of building a life they knew nothing about because they never asked. Mom was crying by the end. We didn't realize, you didn't want to realize, it was easier to focus on Ethan, easier to believe I was fine, easier not to see that you'd chosen wrong. Dad's voice was strained. So you're not going to help us? I'm going to help you, just not the way you want. What does that mean? It means I'll pay for a financial advisor, someone to help you budget, to figure out your finances. That's not enough. It's more than you gave me when I graduated. We can't survive on that. Figure it out, Dad, like I did. When you didn't pay for my textbooks, or my living expenses, or anything. You had a full scholarship. For tuition, not for books, not for housing, not for food. I worked 3 jobs in college to cover that. Did you know that? Silence. No, you didn't know, because you never asked. Mom's voice was small. What do you want from us? Nothing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't want anything from you anymore. I stopped wanting it years ago. We're your parents. You're the people who gave birth to me. That's biology. Family is the people who show up, who choose you, who celebrate you. We do celebrate you. You celebrate what I've become despite you, not because of you. There's a difference. I looked at my MIT diploma on the wall, at the Forbes article framed next to it, at the photo of me alone in my cap and gown. I'm sending you the financial advisor's information. That's all I'm offering. Adrian, please. Goodbye, Mom. I hung up, stared at my phone, waited to feel guilty, didn't, just felt free. For the first time in 10 years, I'd said everything I needed to say, and it felt good. 3 days after I hung up on my parents, Ethan called. I almost didn't answer. Saw his name. Hesitated. But curiosity won. Hello? Adrian. Hey, it's Ethan. I know, your name came up. Awkward pause. Look, man. Mom told me about the call, about you refusing to help. I leaned back in my office chair. Okay. And I don't get it. They're struggling. Dad's medical bills. My divorce costs. They need help and you're sitting on millions. 80 million. On paper. Exactly. You have money. Why won't you help your own family? I let the question hang. Let him hear how it sounded. Are you serious right now? I asked finally. What? Ethan, where were you on May 18th, 2019? What? I don't know. That was 10 years ago. Your engagement party at Riverside Hall, remember? Silence. Yeah, I remember. What else happened that day? More silence. Ethan, what else happened on May 18th, 2019? I don't know, man. I graduated from MIT, summa cum laude, and none of you were there. Oh, right, that. Yeah, that. Dude, that was 10 years ago? You're still hung up on that? I almost laughed. Hung up? No, I'm not hung up. I just learned something that day. What? That I don't matter to you. To any of you. Not enough. That's not true. It is true. You scheduled your engagement party on my graduation day. Mom and Dad chose to go to your party instead of my graduation. And now, 10 years later, you call me because you need money. We're family. Family shows up, Ethan. Family celebrates each other. Family doesn't schedule parties on graduation days and then act confused when there are consequences. It was just one day. It was my day, the biggest achievement of my life at that point, and you all chose a party over it. We didn't think it was that big of a deal. And that's the problem. You didn't think about me at all. He was quiet for a moment. Then, look, I'm sorry, okay? We screwed up. But does that mean you're going to let Mom and Dad lose their house? They're not losing their house. They might, without help. I offered help, a financial advisor, someone to help them budget and plan. That's not real help. It's more than they gave me, ever. You had a full scholarship. For tuition, not for books, housing, or food. I worked 3 jobs to pay for that. Did you know that? No, Of course you didn't. Because nobody asked. Nobody cared. As long as Ethan was okay, everything was fine. That's not fair? You're right. It wasn't fair. None of it was fair. Ethan's voice got defensive. I'm unemployed, Adrian. My marriage fell apart. I'm living with mom and dad at 31 years old. You think my life is great? No. I think your life is hard. And I'm sorry about that. Then help. I am helping. I'm letting you figure it out, like I had to. You're being cruel. No, I'm being consistent. You want money? Earn it. You want support? Show up for people first. You want family? Act like it. We are family. You're my brother biologically. That's it. We don't have a relationship. We never did. Because you left. You moved to California and never came back. I left because nobody noticed when I was there. I graduated MIT and moved across the country, and you know what changed? Nothing. Because I was already invisible. Silence. I don't know what you want from me, Ethan said finally. I don't want anything from you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't need your approval, your acknowledgement, your family connection. I stopped needing it years ago. So that's it? We're just done? We were never really started, Ethan. You just didn't notice because it didn't affect you. He hung up without saying goodbye. I set my phone down, stared at it, waited to feel bad. Didn't. Just felt tired. But also, lighter. A week later, I got an email from Dad. Subject: please read. I opened it. Adrian, I've been thinking about what you said, about your graduation, about us not being there. You're right. We should have been there. We should have rescheduled Ethan's party. We should have made you the priority that day. I don't have an excuse, just an explanation. We thought you didn't need us. You were always so independent, so capable. We thought you were fine on your own. But that doesn't make it right. And I'm sorry. I know sorry doesn't fix 10 years, but I wanted you to know. I see it now. What we did. What we didn't do. I'm not asking for money. I'm asking if someday you might be willing to talk. Really talk. Not now. I understand you need space, but someday. I'm proud of you. I should have said it at your graduation. I'm saying it now. Dad, I read it 3 times. It was better, more honest, but it still didn't change anything. I wrote back. Dad, thank you for the email. I appreciate the apology. You're right that I needed space. Still do. Maybe someday we can talk. But not today. Not soon. I hope you and Mom figure out your finances. The advisor I'm paying for is good. Listen to them. Take care. Adrian. I hit send, closed my laptop. And that was it. No dramatic reconciliation, no tearful phone call, just boundaries. Clear ones. They'd spent 10 years showing me who they were. I finally believed them. 6 months passed. My company got acquired. $800 million, my cut after taxes, $280 million. Liquid, real money. I bought a house in Palo Alto. Nice place, not a mansion, just comfortable. Invested most of the money. Set up a foundation for STEM scholarships, specifically for students whose families couldn't attend graduation. The irony wasn't lost on me. My parents found out about the acquisition from the news. Not from me. Mom called. Adrian, we saw about your company, $800 million. Yeah. That's incredible. Are you okay? That must be so overwhelming. I'm fine, Mom. We'd love to see you, celebrate with you. I'm busy, maybe some other time. When? I don't know, I'll let you know. We both knew I wouldn't. Ethan sent a text. Congrats on the acquisition. Happy for you. I didn't respond, because I didn't believe him, and I didn't need to pretend anymore. A year after the $50,000 phone call, I was having dinner with friends. Someone asked, "Do you talk to your family much?" Not really. Why not? I thought about how to explain 10 years of feeling invisible. They didn't show up when it mattered, I said finally. So I stopped showing up for them. Do you regret it? No. I regret spending so long waiting for them to change. Think you'll ever reconnect? Maybe, if they do the work, real work, not just apologies when they need something. What would that look like? I don't know. Therapy? Actual accountability? Showing up without asking for anything? I'll know it when I see it. And if they never do the work? I shrugged. Then I have my answer, and I'm okay with that. Because I was. I'd built a life I was proud of, a company that mattered, friendships that felt real. I didn't need my parents' validation anymore. Didn't need Ethan's approval. Didn't need any of it. I had me, and that was enough. On May 18th, 10 years exactly since my graduation, I did something I'd been planning for months. I flew to Boston, to MIT, walked around campus, visited my old dorm, the labs where I'd studied, the building where I'd received my diploma, stood in the spot where I'd taken that selfie, alone, in my cap and gown. This time, I wasn't alone. I'd brought Emma, my girlfriend of 2 years, someone who actually showed up. This is where it happened, I told her, where I graduated, alone. She squeezed my hand. You're not alone anymore. No, I'm not. We took a photo. Same spot. 10 years later. Different life. Different person. Different everything. That night, I posted the photo to Instagram. Not Facebook. I'd never reactivated that. Caption. 10 years ago today, I graduated MIT, alone. Today, I came back. Not alone. Sometimes the family you build matters more than the family you're born into. Grateful for everyone who chose to show up. It got 3,000 likes. My parents didn't see it. They weren't following me. But that was okay. Because I wasn't posting it for them. I was posting it for 18-year-old me. The kid who'd sat in that crowd. Who'd walked across that stage. Who'd taken that selfie. The kid who thought he'd done something wrong. Who thought he wasn't enough. I wanted him to know. It wasn't him. It was never him. He was always enough. They just weren't looking. 2 years after the acquisition, I started dating someone seriously. Emma, the woman from the MIT trip. She asked once, "Do you want your parents at our wedding?" I thought about it. Really thought about it. I don't know, I said honestly. Part of me wants them there. Part of me doesn't want to give them the chance to ruin it. What would ruin it? Them making it about themselves, or about Ethan, or showing up and acting like nothing happened. Would you regret it if they weren't there? I regretted them not being at my graduation, but I survived that. I'd survive this too. She kissed my forehead. Whatever you decide, I support you. I think I need to see if they've changed first, before I invite them to the next big thing. That's fair. And if they haven't changed? Then we have a beautiful wedding with people who actually love us. No obligation invites. I smiled. You get it. I do, because my family's complicated too. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your happiness. Exactly. Some people spend their whole lives waiting for their family to see them. I stopped waiting at 18, when I held an MIT acceptance letter and got, "That's nice, pass the potatoes." Some people carry grudges. I just carried boundaries. There's a difference. Grudges hurt you. Boundaries protect you. My parents made their choice on May 18th, 2019. They chose a party over my graduation, and I made my choice after that. I chose myself. 10 years later, they wanted my money. I gave them a lesson instead. Actions have consequences. Even in families. Especially in families. I graduated MIT alone. Built a company alone, became successful alone. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Because the people who don't show up for your wins don't deserve access to your wealth. The people who dismiss your achievements don't get to celebrate them later. And the family that makes you invisible doesn't get to claim you when you become impossible to ignore. I learned that at 18. At 28, I finally believed it. Some doors close, some bridges burn, some relationships end. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, that's the healthiest thing that can happen. I don't hate my family. I don't wish them harm. I just don't include them in my life anymore. And that's not cruel. That's called self-respect. I built an empire from a full-ride scholarship and a graduation nobody attended. Turned loneliness into motivation. Invisibility into drive. Dismissal into success. My parents wanted $50,000 to fix their problems. I gave them a mirror instead. And that, I think, was worth more than any check I could have written. They can't say I didn't warn them. I told them the date, sent them the invitation, asked them to come. They chose differently. And now, 10 years later, they're learning what it feels like when someone chooses differently. Full circle. And I'm finally, actually, completely at peace with that.